problems. That guy, he just has to touch you once.
Shit's going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But that
fucking
down.
dude hits hard.
Jake Paul can come 15-20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.
Joe Rogan reacted to Anthony Joshua's tough new workout plan for the fight with Jake Paul. And what he said says it all. Rogan said that Joshua was dangerous after seeing leaked video of him working with world-class teachers and throwing powerful combinations. He also told Jake Paul that he may have finally given himself a challenge he can't win. Joshua looks more focused, faster, and meaner than he has in years. Rogan thinks that if Jake steps into the ring, this fight will end brutally and quickly.
If you're stronger.
Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul will be a fully sanctioned professional heavyweight fight that follows the rules of the Marquis of Queensberry. There will be 8 rounds, and each one will last 3 minutes. Each fighter must wear 10-ounce gloves. Joshua can't weigh more than 245 pounds, which is a strict limit meant to keep things fair. Each fighter's career record will show whether they won or lost. This is the real deal.
Professional bout. This is going on people's records. AJ gotta take him serious because this isn't some exhibition. We're running out some judges to act like there's a decision and someone won. No, someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose here. It's 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds. Again, heavyweight pro bout, 10-ounce gloves. AJ talking about breaking internets over faces. I think he meant to say breaking his face on the internet. Who knows? Maybe you can do both in the big 2025. But then you have the weight limit, 245 pounds, and people are automatically going to go, oh, God, here's the thing. Oh, here's the thing in the contract. No, stop all that. And I'm going to go on a rant in a second for all the people that thought this was fake, for all the people that thought that Jake wouldn't do this, for all the people that thought he was scared. I'm going to go on that rant in a second. But, okay, yes, 245 is a weird number because Jake has already fought at heavyweight. He fought Mike Tyson at 220-something. But again, I understand it a little bit. We're on short notice here. You don't want to have a Tyson Fury type situation, which AJ would never be 290 coming in here. But 260, 270, it starts to get out of the realm of possibility of like, what are we doing here? Even though heavyweight has no limit, I get it.
Nakisa Darian, CEO of Most Valuable Promotions and VP and Jake Paul's main promoter, told Sky Sports that the fight with Anthony Joshua on December 19 is a big event for people all over the world. He said that even though Joshua might be the more experienced fighter, Paul's over-the-top confidence might be what makes the difference. Darian called the fight a symbolic clash and said that their team pushed hard to make it happen, cramming a lot of planning and talking into a very short time. He also confirmed strict weight limits and professional fight rules to make sure the fight was serious and had a lot at stake. Darian told Sky Sports that his fight with Anthony Joshua is not nearly as bad of a matchup as Joshua's last fight with Francis Ngannou. He said that even though Ngannou was big, he wasn't really good at fighting, which made the fight less fair. Darian, on the other hand, thinks Paul has moved up quickly in the sport and gained enough skill and ring experience to make the Joshua fight tougher.
The weight, will there be a limit for Joshua?
So there's a lot of discussion around the weight. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Both of those times, Usyk was 221 pounds. Joshua was 240 to 245. When Jake fought Mike Tyson last year, 227 pounds. I expect Jake will come in anywhere between 225 and 230, and Anthony Joshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
There will be those, as you're aware, that will look at it and criticise this fight. There already have been, haven't there? They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony Joshua? 100%.
Many people who know a lot about boxing say that Jake Paul is very foolish to fight Anthony Joshua. Former cruiserweight champion Lawrence Okolie has warned Paul that the fight with Joshua is very bad for his health because of Joshua's size and strength. David Benavidez, a former two-time world champion, has been honest and said that Paul is entering a dangerous position because Joshua has so much elite experience.
I give 100% respect to Jake Paul, but that's a dangerous fight for him. He probably gets knocked out, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not saying nothing bad, but Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. You know, he's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him. Yeah. But big respects to Jake Paul. It's gonna be a good card. You know what I mean? It's a big fight. And it's a good fight, man. I give 100% respect to Jake Paul for even taking that fight.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Tony Joshua's decision to fight Jake Paul has been criticized by Carl Froch, who says that AJ is basically getting out. Froch is right to say this. Froch says that Joshua seems to be more interested in money and legacy right now because he has already made a lot of money and won a title. Because he has a lot of money, Froch thinks that Joshua doesn't have much to show in traditional boxing and is instead going for the easy way out by taking a high-paying crossover fight.
What else have we got to consider? Is AJ cashing out? Well, I did say a year ago when he got splattered by Daniel Dubois that he's finished now. He won't get that confidence back. He's not had any confidence, in his head. No belief for a long time. And I don't think he can get back to world level. There's a couple of new young guns now coming up and coming through. It's like a changing of the guard. And when Usyk retires, I don't know what Daniel Dubois is going to do next, but what Daniel Dubois did to him, then he went on and lost to Usyk. But there's a few new heavyweights coming through, Moses Atalma, just to mention one. And you wouldn't start putting AJ in with any of these young up-and-comers that can punch hard, because I just don't think he's got the chance, because the ambition and the desire is going to be gone. So AJ most definitely is cashing out, and you can't fault him. Fair play to him. He's going to get a massive payday, maximise his exit route by fighting fake Paul.
People who like boxing think Jake Paul has what it takes to beat Anthony Joshua, and they are betting everything on his strength. Even though Paul is known as a YouTuber turned fighter, he has shown real punching power in his fights, landing hard blows that have knocked down or out many opponents. Tyson Fury recently said that Paul would knock out AJ, pointing out that he is getting bigger and stronger at heavyweight. On the other hand, Paul has said many times that Joshua's chin is weak, which means that a clean shot at the right time could end the fight quickly.
Do you think he can win, Jake Paul?
I think it's a possibility. No one is backing Jake Paul currently. You've seen him in the ring, you can see that he's got some knockout power. And I also believe people don't look at Joshua's last few fights. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a landslide as people feel. I feel like there's an overhand right that could easily land, and I wouldn't predict that Joshua's chin can last that. The problem is that all of the pressure's on Joshua at the moment. So Jake Paul, if he gets knocked out in 12 seconds, he should get knocked out. The problem is, as soon as Joshua starts taking damage, all of a sudden he's thinking, the world is watching me, I'm a professional fighter, and I'm getting beat off a YouTuber. All of the pressure is in Joshua, and that's a lot that can weigh on a man. You can't deny that Jake Paul has power. I think it's one of his only attributes. I think he's a very poor boxer, but what he does have is a weird technique where you don't know what
he's got power. How do we know he's got power?
He's knocked people out. Joshua has all of the world looking at him thinking you should walk him over. If it gets 2 rounds, 3 rounds inside, I think Joshua loses.
A lot of people are calling this a David versus Goliath battle. Jake Paul, who became famous on social media and in lighter weight fighting, will fight Anthony Joshua, a huge heavyweight who has won championships and has a big physical advantage. Joshua is like Goliath because of his size, strength, and family history. Paul, on the other hand, is the underdog and is counting on his heart, desire, and courage to level the playing field.
Can't judge Anthony Joshua for getting the bag, as the kids say, for going to wherever the fight's going to take place and taking $92 million for going up against Jake Paul, right? You can't give him for that. You can't judge him for that. But don't try and tell me that this is a real professional boxing contest. I'm saying my guess is that this will be an exhibition matchup. And if it is, it'll be one hell of a show. And I'll certainly tune in. And fair play to both men because they're making an absolute goddamn killing. But what is going on? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. It's a lose-lose for Joshua. It's a win-win for Jake Paul.
A big worrying about Joshua's fight with Jake Paul is that AJ has only fought twice in the last 2 years. Since his close loss to Alexander Usyk in 2022, Joshua has been less reliable. In August and December 2023, he beat Robert Helenius and Otto Wallin. In March 2024, he beat Francis Ngannou.
The problem for Anthony Joshua is his activity. He's only fought twice in 2 years, and one of them he got knocked out of Daniel Dubois. That was his last fight, and a lot of people say you can only judge a fighter's quality from their last fight. And then the fight before that was a win, but it was a win against Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, if you know, he was the UFC heavyweight who's not a real boxer, and he only had one fight before that boxing fight, what he lost as well. So that's his activity in boxing. Now Jake Paul, on the other hand, looking at his box rec, he's had 6 fights since 2023, and one of them was against Mike Tyson. But we all seen what happened in that fight. Mike Tyson was well past his prime. Where Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, is, but I'm not going to say he's coming into his prime because he had some great wins earlier on in his career before he lost to Usyk twice. And by the way, when he did lose to Usyk, the last one was a split decision. It was a pretty close fight. So now this fight is matched, and I just want to look at the tail of the tape. Now looking at the age difference, we've got 28 years old compared to 36 years old. So I guess the advantage there goes a little bit towards Jake Paul. 28-year-old is better than a 36-year-old. But that being said, we've got talking about experience and everything else, what comes with being 36 years old at Anthony Joshua's level. And then, like I mentioned, the heavyweights kind of seem to prime a little bit older. Now come down to the height and the weight. This is the big one. 6'1" versus 6'6". 200 pound versus 252 pound. We got a 252 pounder in Anthony Joshua. The reach advantage is a lot, which we would expect. Amateur fights, we can see that Jake's only had one, where AJ's had 43, but 43 of them are included at the highest level, Olympic level. And yes, he won the Olympic bloody gold medal, if I don't need to remind you. Now, in the pro record, Jake Paul has had 13 fights, lost 1. AJ has had 28 fights and he's lost 4 with 25 kills.
David Haye has issued a bleak warning about the upcoming fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, calling it a clear mismatch. The former heavyweight champion told Sky News that he was worried that Joshua could hurt Paul badly and put his life in risk. He even said that the fight might be his last day on earth, painting a dark picture of what might happen if Paul doesn't respect Joshua's size, strength, and experience. When it comes to looks, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul are very different. Paul is about 6 feet 1 inch tall and has a 76-inch reach, while Joshua is 6 feet 6 inches tall and has an 82-inch reach. Joshua weighs about 240 to 250 pounds most of the time, but he can only weigh 245 pounds for this fight. Paul, on the other hand, has spent most of his career as a cruiserweight and has only gained about 227 pounds for his heavyweight fights. The difference in size and weight may give Joshua a big edge in strength and reach.
Is a big money fight, £100 million potentially. Are you confident it'll happen?
I wasn't confident when I first heard about it. It sounds like one of those fairy tale fights that people talk about but don't actually get over the line. I heard this 3-4 months ago. I just dismissed it. I heard it a week ago. I went along with it, but deep down I thought this isn't going to happen. And today it's been made official. Jake Paul is going to get in a ring in a boxing match, boxing gloves, to mix it with one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet. Someone who is Olympic gold medalist, won the heavyweight championship twice. Although he lost his last fight against a very good Daniel Dubois, he's a top 10 heavyweight on the planet versus internet sensation, someone who's a latecomer to boxing and has boxed at a very moderate level. I'm talking domestic level, and he lost to Tommy Fury, for instance. And Tommy Fury, who he lost to, versus Anthony Joshua, they're two completely different sports. So I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured, maimed. And he believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality. He's manifested an amazing life for himself. He's a superstar, and I think he wants to try and do the unthinkable. He wants to. It's an insane challenge he's put himself up for, but you've got to give him credit.
You say an insane challenge. You've described it before as Jake Paul being a cat versus Anthony Joshua's lion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not equally matched on any sense, are they?
There's not one element of their boxing skill set that Jake Paul can come 15, 20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.
When Anthony Joshua agrees to fight Jake Paul, he's taking a big risk. A lot of experts are worried about what might happen in the ring and what it might mean for his reputation. Former heavyweight boxer Dave Allen warned that if Paul even hits Joshua, it could ruin everything he has worked for. Some people say that this conflict is mostly about money. It was okay with Eddie Hearn because you can't eat legacy. More and more people are worried that AJ might give up his famous image for a big payday. If something goes wrong, he will be remembered for trying to get rich instead of his boxing fame.
A lot of boxing fans will think this is a massive stain on his career and a bit of an embarrassment. Now, you two have done it. I'm sure you would both fight Jake Paul tomorrow, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but we're both retired. And we'll be looking at it saying, still an easy fight because he can't box, he's useless. So it's risk reward, minimum risk, massive reward. So of course we'd fight Jamie.
No, but you say that, it's a big risk, Carl. Big risk.
I'm not having that.
Big risk. If you don't go and annihilate him in the first 30 seconds,
yeah, it's fixed.
Can you right, it's fixed. Oh, he's pulling him round.
Yeah.
He's talking about me fighting him though. So would you think that was fixed if I didn't go and annihilate him? 11 years retired. I think that's the point George makes. He always does a little dig and says,
no, but
say
you go out there and it's a tough fight for you. You can say, well, what would you expect? I haven't boxed for 11 years. But then it's like, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Do you want that?
Nobody thinks any less.
You've got the best ending.
Yeah, I've got
your career.
Definitely. So, nobody thinks any less of Mike Tyson because he lost to Jake Paul.
He was 58 years old.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's in hospital a week before.
I've been retired 11 years, and I'd still go in there, in my opinion, and whoop him. I don't think it'd be hard at all. So listen, he won't fight me. Pretend he don't know who I am now, for a start. So he's thought.
How can he not know who you are?
Froch means business. How can he not know?
But a lot of boxing fans and experts think Anthony Joshua is about to become his best self. Joshua has had many setbacks in his career, including to losses to Alexander Usyk. However, he has shown determination by getting better with each fight. In the past few months, people have noticed that his vibe has changed. It looks like he is calmer, more focused, and more driven.
Got what it takes. But then sports is so psychological. Combat is so psychological. And I think the ups and downs of AJ's career have come because of the ups and downs of the psychology, you know? When AJ's on mentally, he's a different guy, man. I mean, I can remember early in his career just being this destroyer and just having this utter mean streak in there, and it would just come out of him when he would fight, and you could just see it. He had that it factor, and he was so popular. I mean, and then I remember being at the Ruiz fight at the Garden, and he gets hit with like this grazing shot, never recovers, and he's gone. And this is after I watched him knock out Klitschko at Wembley, getting up off the canvas in front of a crazy crowd. So I'm like, I'm leaving the Garden then, and I'm like, what happened to this guy? What you know?
Anthony Joshua's chose to fight Jake Paul is a risky move in some ways, both for his health and his image. The fight could bring in a lot of money, but many people in the know think that if things go badly, it could hurt AJ's reputation. Critics say Joshua runs the risk of making a veteran's comeback look like a circus act. Other than that, this fight could be the right way for him to get pay after years of big fights. He might not want to take on such a risky crossover match at this point in his career, though, because it could lead to a big surprise or a lot of damage.
A lot of people have said, well, if he doesn't knock him out the way in which he knocked out Francis Ngannou, he's a sham, this is all rigged. A lot of people said if Jake wins, this is a sham, this is rigged. A lot of people said if he goes the distance with Jake, this is a sham, this is all rigged. Some people are saying even before it was finalized, Gareth on our show, although he folded quite quickly when he was face-to-face with Eddie at the open workouts. I saw that on IFL TV, I do believe, saying that his legacy is already
already in question as a result of taking this fight. Now, I'm surprised that people like Gareth say this. Look, this may not be your cup of tea. You can say, I want to see Anthony Joshua fight other heavyweights. I want to see him fight the likes of, I don't know, Joseph Parker. I want to see him fight Martin Bakole. I want to see him fight Caballel. I want to see him fight Zhilei Zhang. I want to see him fight Hrgovic.
What do you think? Is Joshua the right person to fight Jake Paul for the money? Is he risking his legacy? Please write your thoughts below.